September the 16th, 2024. As you're looking at satellite images over the East Coast, and last night we were looking at the tropical system that was setting off the Carolina coast. It was about right in here, and it was a tropical depression. Now they're saying it's a 50-mile-per-hour tropical storm, and you've got tropical storm warnings all along the area. Now, something that, again, we're going to do another video this afternoon about the shifting of the tropical convergence zone up 152 miles. That was on a report a week ago. Maybe still moving, but there's some very interesting satellite images. Let me point this out. See this rotation right there? You see another one right there? They're saying that there's another one here. What I'm seeing, and we're going to look at it very closely, is the most dangerous section of whatever they're looking at 75 miles offshore looks like it's coming in right there. But again, this looks more like the convergence zone, much further north than it should be. We're right through here. Check that out. Now, looking at the close-up, guys, they're saying it's 75 miles off the shore of South Carolina. Now, I've just looked at the computer printouts, and I put those on the map. And they're saying it's somewhere in this area right there. Again, you've got several systems moving across the Atlantic. But right here is a great amount of rotation. Check that out. Right again on the borders of where we were talking about last night it coming in. But they're still showing it. Something setting out here coming in to central Carolina. I may be blind or losing my mind. I don't know. But I've never seen one quite like this one. Let's change this filter slightly. Now, switching the filter, guess I still don't see that rotation setting out here about 75 miles. Either it's slipped them or they haven't updated it. Something is not quite right. But there's a lot of wind coming in here. I was looking at Myrtle Beach's webcam. I guess you would call it South Myrtle Beach. And there wasn't a lot of people there, but the weather hadn't gotten too bad yet. You could tell the wind was coming from north to south, moving in this direction. But offshore, there's a platform out there. I think it's now a private platform. It used to be some type of radar installation or something like that, weather thing. And it's really getting active out there. Let's look at the models. But again, guys, this is the most serious area right in here. You can see that. You get the major storms coming through here. And again, unless it's hidden under this cloud, and I just don't see it, there is nothing right in this area that they're pointing to. And this is what they're showing us. Here's South Carolina. Here's the border of North Carolina. That's where we're seeing a lot of activity. By the way, the blue lines are tropical storm warnings up through this area. So, again, we're sitting right there, and I did put it on Google Maps just a few minutes ago from the computer printouts and measured it. It was right at 75 miles offshore. But look at how far the tropical wind force field it goes out north from here. If it's sitting here again, it's covering up into the Carolinas, and this looks correct. But something is not quite right. I don't know if the storm split overnight. They're still measuring that low pressure surface there. But guys, just again, here's South Carolina coming straight out in this area. And this is the latest plot. Just a few minutes before I started the video, I couldn't find it with my eyes, so I wanted to see what the computer was saying, and I put it. That puts it right here, and it's 4.69 miles from there to the shoreline. This is the second point that they're showing. Here's Georgetown right there, North Santee, Andrews, and Kingstree right there. Surfside Beach, Myrtle Beach up in this area. And again, that's the line that they're showing, guys. I don't know what to tell you other than that. It would be coming in, according to this, along the Santee Coastal Reserve in here. It looks like a lot of reserve land. And if you notice, right in the center here is Georgetown. And they're showing a path right there, coming across Georgetown, and then up this into this area. Here's Annanville. But anyway, guys, that is a little different from what the computer's showing you. When we do this, we've been doing it all summer like that. Just want to go back to the maps just a moment. And again, it looks like it's right in here, the most powerful section of the rotation. You can see it. And if you come out from that line that we were looking at, we were out in this area. So again, did the storm split and suddenly reform closer to shore, a little further north along the Carolina borders? I don't know, but let me show you a couple of webcams. Now, looking at Myrtle Beach, guys, you can see the wind's coming from behind them, coming offshore. It's windy, tide looks like it's out. You can tell it's been raining. I've seen a little bit of foot traffic out here, but it looks like the energy is a little further north than this, up closer to the border. Let's see if we can find one near the North Carolina border. Now, this is what's called the North Beach Resort and Villas. I think this is North Myrtle Beach, very close to that border. You can see the surf's up out here. Tide still looks like it may be out. But you guys check on that as far as looking at the timing and when your high and low tides are coming in. Everyone knows about the storm. I just saw this extra burst of energy that close to shore, and that was concerning to me without seeing a targeted circulation offshore. And this webcam is 32 miles from Bald Head Island, North Carolina. It is approximately 39 miles southeast of Southport, North Carolina. It's called the Frying Pan Shoals Light Tower. It's a privately owned tower that was owned by a surplus Coast Guard light station, and now they got it and building into some kind of research center there. And so it's pretty neat. We've watched hurricanes come out in this area before and tear this flag all to pieces. But again, this is just a tropical storm. But the winds are up, and you're starting to see it along the coastline. Just want to point that out, and let's look at the warnings from the National Weather Service. We'll end the video. Now, coming out of the Wilmington, North Carolina forecast office, guys, the lighter reds are tropical storm warnings, flash flood warnings in the darker red area here, Southport, Wilmington. Again, this is an area that looks like a lot of that activity was in. You also have hurricane local statements, and just all of this is wind warnings, by the way. If you look at some of the rain forecast, now these are charts. One is a flash flood threat on the left, and the one on the right is a tornado threat for this very area. If it's in the red right here, you're dealing with 6 to 10 inches. Then you get into the darker maroons, 10 plus, but it looks like about 10 inches, which is a lot of rain, would be the max in this area. Along the coast that we were watching, 3 to 4 inches, North Myrtle Beach, 2 to 3. Further south, you get the less Georgetown, 1.5 inches. But Bolivia and Wilmington, Hampstead, these are 4 to 6 inches. So, and further out you go, it gets a little less. Now, over to your tornado threats. You've got a marginal risk that's in this area, the darker green. That includes Myrtle Beach, Southport, Wilmington, Whiteville, Conway, Lumberton, and Burgaw. You get into the lighter greens, and it goes down into the thunderstorm area. Again, just a marginal risk, but we're early in the day, and the heating of the clouds above it could change it. But a lot of times it's after that eye comes ashore, and the tail end is where we start to see those. Now, your local radar, this is, I think, coming out of Wilmington, and here is Wilmington, and you're in the strongest section of the storms now. The green boxes indicate flash flood watches and warnings. Here's Myrtle Beach, and again, this is the path we've kind of been looking at, but notice Myrtle Beach in the video we just looked at, as far as the webcam, winds were blowing from behind you coming offshore. And here in Wilmington, they're coming ashore, and that's why it appears that the strongest center of rotation is right in this area. Again, I'm just maybe old and blind and crazy, but I'm going to report what I see. We're watching it, guys. Watch for this weather to change and maybe get a little more intense. It is now 10:55 a.m. Central Time, 11:25 out there in Wilmington, so you still got a few hours of heating. Just keep your eyes on this and watch for low-lying flooding. It's a heads up. Be safe.